Welcome back to the channel, guys. So if you have a refrigerator and an RV and it's a propane and electric, you probably have had some issues with cooling. Now in the summertime it's a lot more of an issue versus in the wintertime. I feel like with the colder air outside it keeps the refrigerator working a little bit better. But I did buy a fan to see if this will help. So this is kind of like a part one video to see if it's gonna keep the temperatures down. Now because it is the winter time, my refrigerator does stay pretty cool. But as I mentioned, in the summer, this bad boy gets up to like 45 degrees sometimes. And of course, if you have a lot of stuff in here, especially expensive food, the last thing you need is for your food to go bad. So as you can see, I have two issues. I have an issue in the summertime, and now I'm having an issue with some ice. I've never had this problem in the past, so I bought this fan right here to basically try to get the air moving a lot better inside the refrigerator. So I kind of just started installing it. I'm like only 20% done. But let me just show you really quickly what the fan looks like. So I did already take it out of the box. It actually came packaged pretty well from the manufacturer, and for the most part came here pretty quickly. I didn't have to wait for, I think, maybe like a week maybe, and I think shipping was most of that. So I ordered it on Amazon. I'll show you on here where I got it from. And the fan is 13 inches. They also have a 15-inch fan too. You can kind of see it in here. I've already ran the wires through the this little hole here. This is where you have like a little place out the back of your refrigerator where it drips out any condensation. So I just ran the wire through here, and you can hook it up to the light, but I decided to not do that. I feel like there's not a lot of room over here, and I don't want to leave this refrigerator open too long anyways. For now, I want to see if the fan works first too, so I'm going to go ahead and connect it to the back. And what I have to do is, it did have a positive and negative line, so I do have to splice the wire. So I'll show you. I have a bunch of tools down here. I might be outside, but I have a wire splicer. You will need that, and then you can just pretty much hardwire it out back. I think that's the easiest way to do it. All I did was let the wire sit inside the refrigerator for about 10 minutes, and it made them extremely hard. So I didn't even have to use a fishing tool. Like once the wires got really cold, as you know, copper, it gets really stiff and it goes through it really easily. So that's all I did. And yeah, it took me like 5 minutes. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to splice the wires. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show you what I did on the outside to get this wire ran through. Alright, so all you have to do is just unclip these. Just turn them, they're facing up like this, and this will pop right off. And as I mentioned, I just fished the wires through this tube here. This is where it will drip at on the outside of this cover. So I just put a little hole. All I did was I used my pocket knife, just cut a little hole in, and all I have to do is just patch that up with just a little bit of tape. And then all I'm going to do basically is splice these wires and just connect them right here, and that should turn on the fan here. So let me go ahead and do that. I actually have the tool right here. You can have something similar to this, or you could just use a regular knife. This just makes the cuts a little bit more cleaner. So if you see right there, these wires are a little thin, so you can see right there. And let's do one more cut, and there you have it. So we have them the same size, and all I have to do now is connect them right here. So I'm going to undo these. I have to turn off the refrigerator first too, actually. So I'm going to turn the refrigerator off, and I'm going to connect right here, and then that way this will be pretty much powered on. Actually, how about this? Before I undo this, if you could, can you go inside? I'm going to touch on these two ends here, and then see if it turns on that way. Okay. So I have the fan on. I'm gonna turn on. It's weird, they put two of these fans on one switch and they put one on its own, but I guess they did that in case you didn't need all three of them on all the time. And check that out. The only problem is my refrigerator is off, and so these fans are on. Problem is, if I ever decide I want to, I have to always remember to turn these off basically. But it does have a light on, really cool. So I have a lot more light inside of here. And I may have to just buy an extra bulb for this one so that way it matches. But really happy with this install. I think it was pretty easy. You can mount this onto the light too. It does provide some mounting points for it. I just think that this is the better way to go. Alright, so here's everything else that came with it. This is what I was showing you if you want to mount it to your light inside the refrigerator. They give this piece to you. Mine, I can't use this because I don't have the same setup here. I could have easily spliced into the back of the wires the way I went into the back of the refrigerator, but I decided not to do that because it's not like a lot of space to really go in there and start splicing wires. And yeah, I think that this way is a lot better. It's a lot cleaner. The last thing I have to do now, guys, is, as you see in my refrigerator, it's still cold. I unfortunately have to turn off my refrigerator for about a day or so, and we're gonna have to put food on ice and just eat out for a little bit. But these actually mount onto the fan, and then you're supposed to put these adhesive strips onto the fins of the refrigerator, the little silver fins in the back. And then once everything's clean, dried, everything like that, they'll basically stick on here. So I'm just going to stick them on right now. That way I don't lose them. And then I'll show you guys how this all pretty much installs. Now, normally what you would do is you would basically do all this before you do all the wiring. But I just want to make sure the fan works. I'm about to run out of time for it to get turned back in. So now I know it works. The lights come on, the fans are working, everything's fine. So I can go ahead and mount this up once we get the refrigerator done. So I'll show it to you right now. Alright, so this is going to be the left bracket, and then this is going to be the right bracket. So when you go to install these on, this is basically the end of that bracket. So that's how it should go on each side basically. So what I have to do is I have to test fit this inside the refrigerator. I'm going to go ahead and click these on, and right here, as you guys just saw, I have these I have to stick on the fin. So once I do a good test fit to see where they're supposed to go, I have to clean the fins off. Now again, I don't have faith that these are going to stay on here right now because I'm not turning off my refrigerator. Therefore, there's going to be a little bit of condensation. So I'm going to wipe them off the best I can, dry them off the best I can, and hopefully I'm going to use this flathead to kind of, make sure they have a nice secure fitment. So I'll rub up and down them with this, and then I'm going to install the fan. So let's go ahead and do that, and we will pretty much be done. Alright. Now, as you guys can see, I don't think I even have to use these little pads because the fan is actually sticking up there perfectly. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it like this for now. And whenever we do decide to turn off our RV again and turn off our refrigerator, then I'll go ahead and just use the sticky pads. But for right now, I don't have to do so. But with the air kind of blowing out back, yeah, I have a nice even airflow up here. So this should not freeze up anymore. So that's good news. Yeah, I feel the air going through pretty much all of these. And you do have two switches for the fan. So this one switch is for this one. And then you have two fans for this switch. So in the wintertime, you probably only need maybe one fan on for the most part. So you could just roll it like that. But I'm gonna, keep them on throughout the day, and then at night I'm just gonna turn the fan off because I feel like there's enough airflow. So I hope this was helpful. Like I said, this is definitely a good thing to have if you do live in your RV full time. And like I said, even today is going to be a little bit warmer, so it's showing 35. I've had the refrigerator open for like about a minute or so. And yeah, like I said, those fans really do a good job at moving around the air. Now they do give you too, I showed this to you earlier, but they do give you a light. But the light's rendered useless because it's behind this thing. It should have put the light maybe up here, maybe like a little LED strip right there. But I mean, you do have a light on this too, but it's really useless, so the light on the refrigerator is better. I almost forgot to mention too, when I added this fan in here, before I added it to the fins, I did turn the fans on, and it actually melted all the ice that you guys saw on the fins. So that just is a testament to this fan. If you are having issues with any type of cooling, this will do the trick for you. We've been using this now for a month, and I just wanted to take a quick video of just showing you guys really quickly how well it works. It's quiet, you don't really hear it on the outside, and I run it throughout the day and then I turn it off at night. But even when we got up to like 75, 80 degrees, you guys can see it maintains 34. I don't even have this on the lowest setting. So if you hit temperature, level 5 is the lowest setting for cold. So with that being said, this does a really good job. And even when you open the fridge door, you can feel the air, kind of like at your house, you can feel the air coming down at the bottom because the cold air does drop. And yeah, that fan is such a good investment. We had the small one that you just put inside the refrigerator. It did nothing compared to what this does. So be sure to put this on your list. If you don't have any issues with cooling, you probably will over time. So this might be a good preventative measure. If you don't want to install this yourself, you can have your dealership do it before you take delivery of your RV. And they have a 13-inch and they have a 15-inch, which I'll show you guys here online right now. Before I show you the evaporator fan that I purchased in this video, this was the very first purchase I did. A lot of people are going to tell you that this is a solution, and I'm going to be the bearer of bad news. This will not work. I used this for a year, and apart from it just blowing through batteries, it does not move enough air for it to be effective. So if you're thinking about spending $18, save it and put it towards the fan. And if you don't feel comfortable installing it, then have a dealer do it, because this is not going to do much of anything. If you want to use this on the bottom, maybe to move air, maybe you could do that, but this is not a good purchase in my opinion. This is a unit that I purchased. It was pretty much the same price. I bought this about a month and a half ago at this point, but it was 13 inches. It's through RV Cooling Unit Warehouse. So they have this size and a few other sizes too. The only thing I don't like about it is I did see that there are some other evaporator fans that actually like clipped on as opposed to sticking on some sticky pads. I like that installation better, although as you guys saw in the video, I never did anything with the sticky pads. For some reason, the way that my fins were holding up the fan is up there very secure. I've already traveled 3 or 4 times for hours and it never fell off, so the way I have it connected is fine. The next one that you have is the 15-inch, which I did mention. So if you have a bigger refrigerator, I didn't see this one when I purchased the 13-inch, but so far the 13-inch is fine. But if you look at the price difference, it's only like $1 difference. So that's why I think it would just be better just to get the 15-inch because it spreads out the fans a little bit better. This is the smaller evaporator fan that you can get from the same company. If I could go back, what I would have done was I would have just purchased 2 of these and then spread them out on the evaporator fins, because I feel like this might have been a better option, and you basically get 2 for the price of the longer fan. So I think this was a better option personally, and if you want, you can turn one side on and one side off, or vice versa, however you want to choose to use them. The last line of defense that you can add is these outside fans for the vents. Now, you probably heard it in my video. You heard like a whining sound. I do have fans on the outside of my refrigerator that move air up, and they're supposed to go out of the vents. Now if you add these at the very top, these fans here, these will actually pull that air out quicker, which would help keep temperatures down in your refrigerator. With these things working together, this is the best line of defense to keep that refrigerator cold. I've heard people online saying with all these fans together, they're keeping their refrigerator 15 to 20 degrees colder than when they didn't have them. Now, one thing to consider, absorption refrigerators are the worst. They're not great at keeping the temperature low. I've witnessed 47 to 50 degrees on hot days. So just keep that in mind if you are buying an RV to live in full time. Now, the last thing I'll show you guys are a few other things. So there are other fans you can add on the inside. They do have compressor style refrigerators that you can convert to. This is just a absorption unit here, but I'm just using it as an example. And if you like I said, you can just do some more research and see if there's any other fans for the inside of the refrigerator, or you can build one yourself. I mean, this is basic stuff. I mean, I can't build it, but it's something that some people do have the skill to do. But let's go ahead and get back to the video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys soon.
Peace.